ready and why is it so easy to turn away from God? Even when we know that His plan for us is never failing. It is, even I've been there before. It is so easy because we are humans. If you just think about Christ, the agony in Gethsemane, you remember that the place where the disciples were there at the end, just before He was gone. You remember the conversation? How many of you seen Passion of Christ? You all have seen Passion. You remember the conversation right there? That He was just before they were going to take Him away, before they came and captured Him, and even Him, knowing that He was the Son of God, the Son of the most powerful thing in this whole universe, knew His Father can do anything He wants. But even at that moment of weakness, He asks, what? Father, if it is possible to remove this, take away, walk away, and help me out, do so. And He said, but if it is not in your plan, and I'll take it. I'll accept it. That's how easy for you and I, we are far away from. Even though you and I are made in the image and likeness of God, means what? You are just like God. When others looks at you, you're supposed to be like God. They must see the personality of God in us. When I look at each one of you, have different faces, different looks, different colors, and so on, right? Different types of hair. But yet, you are made in His image and likeness, and therefore, when somebody looks at you, you're supposed to be seen as God. Through how? Through the way you behave, the way you walk in this world. Through your love, your care, your concern, that compassionate face. So it is so easy for you and I, being so human. Christ was fully human and fully divine. Fully divine. We are supposed to be honest, but we are not. Why? Because we commit sins. Small things we do. Like your parents for small things. I'm going out to do homework, but I'm not. You know, the small things we do in our lives makes us slightly lesser than God, only because of the sinful nature of us. And that's why we follow from God's plans. And even though we know God has promised all these things, but the ones who accept and turn back towards God are rejoiced by God. You know the story, I always use that analogy for confessions. When Mary Magdalene came to Christ, she knew that she was the biggest sinner in this world. She was supposed to be. In the eyes of the Jews, she was supposed to be stoned to death. That is a punishment. Yet, when she came to Him, He said what? She didn't say, oh, you did this, you did that. He didn't say any of those things. He simply said, daughter, your sins are forgiven, and go and sin no more. And she did not go back to the same way she was before. She was a changed person. You remember that? You remember that? That is how you and I are supposed to be. We make mistakes in our lives. It is so easy to walk away from God's plan. It's so easy. We are humans. Why? Because we have plans of our own. When we have plans of our own, it is so easy for us to walk away from God. But the ones who realize that I am walking away from God and turn back to God are the blessed ones. Just like Mary Magdalene was. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
Who said that? Yes? That was okay. Okay, how do we approach those who challenge our faith? Very simple. How? Just continuing to be God-like. I can give you a pure example. I can give you an example from my own life. I was in 10th grade. Back in Kerala, there were bullies also. Okay, tell you that. I was a very quiet child. parents were very, very strict. Went to school and came back with the homework, and that was like what it was all about. Just like here, it was all about studying, going to school, coming back. I remember one of the kids who came from another school into my school, from a very rich family, and I was number one in English as well as in math. And he was so jealous. It's very simple. He was very jealous, and he literally had his friends beat me up. I'm telling you, beat me up. I didn't respond, I didn't react, and they continued to instigate on a daily basis to get me in trouble. I walked away. After 6 months of my behavior, he came back and apologized to me. Why? Because he couldn't change me. He couldn't make me whom he wanted me to become, just like him. Fight back, hit him back, and cause I didn't do that. But through seeing my love for him, and I continued to be the biggest friend without walking away from him, and he came back to me and apologized, not to me. He came to my house and apologized to my parents for what he has done to me. And that's how you do it. But it took 6 months for him to see that. That's how you're supposed to do. Your faith being questioned by others, when they challenge you, you continue to carry your faith. Who you are. What? Can you change because they challenge you? Can you change who you are? You should not be. Because you are supposed to be a godlike person. Through your behavior, the words you use, the conversations you have, the way you dress, the way you walk, all those things must reflect that you are a Christ-like person. Actually, one of the philosophy is it is tough. It is tough to do. But those who prevail the longest will prevail forever. So you can definitely change your friends by doing that. How do we in today's world with our busy schedules and love practically seek God? Oh yeah, this is really good. How do we in today's world with our busy schedules and lives practically seek God? Today's world with our busy schedules and lives. I always say one thing. God gave us 24 hours a day. Right? If he thought, God created the world, right? If he thought that Achan, because he has a secular job, who travels so much, and plus I have my ministry, if he thought I must have 26 hours, he would have given to me. He would have. But when he created you and I, this world, he really believed that each person with their responsibilities can get through a day within 24 hours. And I hear this very often. People tell me, Acha, I just don't have enough time in a given day. You say that, right? Acha, I just don't have enough time in a given day. I ask the question, to do what? To do what? I mean, just simply take a day. I mean, just for a second, I'm going to pause for a second. Think about your day. You have 24 hours a day. You work, parents, 8 hours. You kids go to school for about 7 to 8 hours a day, right? Between commute you have, so about 8, let's say about 8 hours. School bus, parents commute, let's add another 2 more hours. So 10 hours you are done with your daily, the priority. The job is a priority, your commute has to happen. That's done. You come home and you have homework, let's say, the ones who read us. Let's say I'm going to add another 4 hours. I'm going to give you 4 hours more. That's a 5 hours. Because you kids in St. Thomas are very smart. You're going to do those 5 hours of homework. Because you get straight A's, right? Oh. Come on, smile. So I'm going to give you 5. So 10 plus 5 is 15. Dinner. I'm going to give you the lavishly 1 hour for the 5-course meals you eat every day. Right? So that is now, what, 16 hours. You still have how many hours? 8 hours. Within that, 16 hours I allocated towards you. You already seen an hour of Asianet. You've seen 15 minutes of Surya and so on. A little bit of TV here and there. 16 hours you are done. You are tired now. And how much more you have? 8 hours. And what do? Texting, Facebook, and so on. That's another 2 more hours. Still, you got 6 hours of sleep. You wake up in the morning very fresh. Is that a normal life? None of us are moving mountains out there. None of us are really moving mountains. A lot of things we do to ourselves. On a weekday, if I am going to spend 2-3 hours for watching a movie at a theater, I'm nuts. Is that part of your plan? Is that a must to have? Is it a must to do? No, it's not. On the way home, you stop by the grocery store, buy a gallon of milk. It's a must to do. You lost another 15, 20, 30 minutes of your time. Great. But what I'm saying is, when you really put 1 plus 1 is 2. Recently, I had a conversation with somebody back in Kerala and said, Acha, they make 50,000 rupees between the husband and wife. It's not enough. I'm scratching my head and said, let me sit down with you for a second. Let me walk. So I said, Amme, that means somebody who's close to me. Amme, your son and your daughter-in-law is telling you it is not enough. For what? Why they doing this? Because they are taking your retirement money, your pension money is coming home, they see and they see the money, their eyes light up. What they're doing is that they're saving half of their money and taking the mother's money and spending it to buy fish and so on. I said, Amen. They're robbing you blind. Let me sit down with you, walk you through this thing. Okay, I walked you through. I said, even if they go and drink all night long, I said, they cannot spend more than 30,000 rupees for what they do. They're still putting 20,000 rupees into their bank and taking 7,000 rupees the mother gets for her pension and spending it. That is what we do. We create this world of ours. Actually, life isn't fair. I said, what do you mean by life isn't fair? Recently, I had my second session is that I'll walk you through that. I said, what do you mean like, tell me about your life. What is troubling you? I said, we just don't have enough money. So what do you mean? How much you make a year? $170,000 a year. I said, what? $170,000 a year. I said, if I had your full name, if everybody is, I know, I'll come to this later. I'll come to this later about building a church. I'm going to motivate you tomorrow. And next year I'm going to be back here for the consecration. So I said, what do you mean $175,000? All I need is your first and last name. I can go back to Washington and my computer just will spit out whatever I need to know about you. Very simple. I will know where you go to eat, what you buy from your grocery store. All those things will be print out in front of me. So don't mess with me. So I said, let's go through. You make $175,000 a year, and you saying that you are in trouble. Something is wrong. What happened? So some push I said, I didn't ask you to do that. പിന്നെന്താ പറ്റി എല്ലാവർക്കും വലിയ വണ്ടിയുണ്ട് ഞങ്ങളും പോയി വലിയ വണ്ടി മേടിച്ചു എന്താ വണ്ടി മേടിച്ച കുഞ്ഞുങ്ങൾ ഫോർഡോ അല്ലച്ചാ എങ്ങനെ അവര് ഡ്രൈവ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് മെർസൈഡീസ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു ഒരു മെർസൈഡീസിലും BMW രണ്ട് SUV മേടിച്ചു ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞു between the two you spend $150,000 so അതിൻ്റെ തന്നെ പേയ്മെന്റ് almost $1,700 ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞു you are nuts $1,700 ഈ അമേരിക്കയിൽ 60% of the people doesn't make more than that a month. കാരണം മോർഗേജ് ഇതൂടെ ആയപ്പോൾ തന്നെ $12,000 $4,000 liability. പിന്നെ ഗ്രോസറി ഇൻഷുറൻസ് കാർ ഇൻഷുറൻസ് ലൈഫ് ഇൻഷുറൻസ് ഗിഫ്റ്റ്സ് പള്ളിയിലെ ഡ്യൂസ് എല്ലാം കൂടെ almost $16,000 in expense. I said, I will sit down with you and I can bring you down from there to about $3,000 to $4,000 a month in expense for a normal family. Do you need a seven bedroom home? 2-story plus basement? You need 7 bathrooms? So they can, I said, how many times you go to the bathroom? So this is the reality of life. We complicate our life so much. And we get into trouble. You saying that you don't have enough time a day? You have more than enough time in a given day. 24 hours is more than enough to do what God has asked you and I to do. If you feel that you don't have enough time, something is really bad, something is really messed up somewhere in your life. So, look at your time. Look at your time management is very important. Time management is very, very important. And I can help you. You have my email address. Hi. After witnessing beautiful things happening in my life, as the result of God's love, I still find myself going to Him when I am in tough situation. You should. That's what He said. How can I fix the convenience relationship I have with God? This happens every day. We know there's a God above us, and we only go to Him when we are in trouble. He's not there when you are in trouble. He's not just there, He's always there. He's always there. First thing is, look at the trouble you are having. What caused the trouble? Why am I in trouble? You got to see, is that because God? No. Because you did not study hard enough. You were depending on God too much for that grade. That's what happened. So it's not at His fault. It's not really His fault. So I'm really asking the person who wrote this, don't continue the convenience relationship. Please have a constant and unsistent relationship with God. And He is there always for you, and He always will be there for you, unconditionally. In what ways do you think we can become more closer to God? Be like God. Very simple. Be like God. Christ taught us something. What? Did He talk about money? He never spoke about money. His life was very, very simple. Very simple man. Christ was very simple. His life was all about love. That cost money. Care. Does that cost money? No. Be compassionate. Does that cost any money from you? No. Very simple life. Be simple in your life. I always say, why complicate life? Be simple in everything you and I do. Keep it simple, and then you will be always closer to God. In what ways can we be better Christians? Again, be like Christ. Be like Jesus. Loving, caring, being compassionate. And you will definitely, in your school, you will turn at least one person towards God. At least one person towards God just by being Christ-like. How come God chooses to save some people, such as the previously atheist nun? I'll cover this in my second presentation, okay? I promise. Or others like the young children with leukemia whose family prayed, and so on. Okay? I will definitely walk you through this. It doesn't seem fair, it's part of my topic. Just bear with me. The last one is said for one more way. I think is writing these things. Is it fair for someone who has never heard the gospel to go to hell? No. It is not. But what I'm saying is everybody is created equally. Everybody is created equally. I truly believe that it is God to judge. Not for you and I. A lot of people ask me, are the Muslims going to hell or heaven? Or the Hindus going to heaven? I don't know. I don't really care. I don't really care. Why? Because I really have to care about myself. In that sense, am I going to hell or heaven? If I am sure about that, then I'm going to worry about each one of you. Then I should worry about each one of you. Because most probably, if you are not a godlike person, we have a lot to worry about in our lives. Lot to worry about. So He knows, I have known, because of my exposure to the private sector, the world out there, I have so many friends. And I can tell you one thing, Some of the Hindus and Muslims I know are far, far better than some of the Christians I know. I'm telling you, far better. So in that case, you ask, Acha, are they going to go to heaven? It's up to him. He's going to judge. I mean, one of the prayer that you, I don't know how many of you really listen to the prayers Achans read in the Kurbana. ഓരോരുത്തവനും അവനവന്റെ പ്രവൃത്തികൾക്ക് അനുസരണമായി ഒരു ദിവസം വരുന്നുണ്ട്. We can't worry about ourselves. Don't worry about Muslims or Hindus or the atheists. No. Just you have enough to worry about ourselves. The world out there is too crazy. It makes us do things we don't want to do a lot of times. So you do one thing, it gets you to do something else just to stay alive and keep on making us far away from God. I always use the analogy that when you all kids, all of you has iPhone 5. How many? 4? iPhone 4? I don't even have that. Anyway, what I'm saying is when you drive around, if you have AT&T, you're driving around your neighborhood, you get dropped so fast. Why do you get dropped so fast? Because you are away from this source. Towers.
The source.
Yeah, right? So you are away from the source, right? Source. And you get dropped. They won't even tell you, I'm going to drop you right now. I'm going to give you 5 seconds. I'm going to give you 5. Alright? It doesn't tell you that. So what happened? That's what happens to you and I. Every time we commit a sin in our life, we are getting further and further away from that cell tower up in heaven. We are falling away from God step by step. Until we realize that, turn our life around and come back to God and turn towards God, accept our mistakes, and then only that you get that connection back in your life. So it is very important for us to worry about ourselves like somebody else. In life, we have many problems and obstacles we go through. Is this part of God's doing for who He wants to be? I'm going to cover this afternoon. I'm going to walk you through this, okay? Yes, it's true. It's part of His plan. What's the most important characteristic we should look for in a life partner? Who is old enough to ask me? I don't know if your parents asked me this question. It's not one of the boys. It can't be one of the girls. The handwriting. Until we find you the partner. It's been a Christian. A Christian. I have seen a life partner. I have seen whether white, blue, black. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I have done so many mixed marriages. I have done. But with the council session, I asked one question. So what do you believe in? So the most important thing is when you're looking for a boy or a girl, is that person is Christian. That person understands the basic Christian belief. How you're supposed to be. There's so many wonderful kids in our community. I'm telling you, you don't have to look outside the community. There's so many. Come and visit us up in North. There are tons of boys and girls out there. Tons of them. The churches are much bigger than here. Philadelphia Church, I go to regularly, has 117 families. There are 3 of them just in Philadelphia. So you can imagine how many boys are there, how many girls are there. So what I'm saying is, go to these activities. The church does so many activities. Your parents shy away from spending $500 for them to fly to Philadelphia or New York or Houston, wherever that is. Houston, Texas has tons of boys and girls. Tons of them. And the good news is that those boys and girls were born and brought up in Baptist Christian foundation. Means they have gone through private schools, mostly Christian schools, and they are very, very Bible based. I'm telling you, very Bible based. So if you are looking for a boy or girl, even beyond Philadelphia and New York, I would look at West. Like Texas and those kind of areas. If you ever need help, I will give you my email address, send that to me. I go to a congregation every Sunday. Always parents are attached, somebody, I said, let me check my blackbook. Okay. So If you have any doubts about it, somebody, I may know the person. I have been to so many places, so I can help you with that. If you have any doubt about boy or girl, just give the last name. I'll check it out. I will talk to my computer and find out.
So now we have ChristianHarmony.com.
Yeah.
ChristianHarmony.com.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I'm not doing. Just like Match.com, we have.
Where are the kids?
It's a website.
Website. Yeah.
No,
No, I'm not promoting, but.
But anyway, my email is very easy to remember. It's very easy. I'm from Washington DC, so WDC, and I'm the only holy man in Washington DC. So WDC holy man at AOL.com. So that's my email. How can you forget, right? WDC holy man at AOL.com. I'll find you somewhere. Why do you think churches in our denomination do not get along? Yeah, right. Primarily because of accents, I would say. Specifically in South Florida. I hate to say this to you. My accent is very dear friend of mine. I always say the problem starts with the top. I hate to say it. Until our actions realize that they are servants of God and they are supposed to serve the people. Christ was what? He was serving the people, right? He washed the feet of the disciples. Would I do that? Would Achan do that? Would somebody else do that? Our Achans? No. We believe that, our Achans believe that because of the ordination they have, they're supposed to be top of everything. They're supposed to be the number one in the community. People must get up when they walk in, and then people must move away. Actually, it's coming, right? We look for those kind of recognition, and we forget the fact that we are truly the servants of God. And Achan must be able to see rich and poor equally. Rich and poor equally. The moment that they take stands with their group of people in the community, they fail their ministry. They 100%, I can guarantee, they 100% fail their ministry. They have. And their ministry has no meaning. Their ordination has no meaning. Because you're supposed to be imitating Christ.